right, what's going on, everybody? It's your good old boy JR coming to you live from Las Vegas, Nevada. As always, it is a pleasure to talk to you. Any chance I get, it's very awesome to talk to you guys. I do have, let's see here, bingo. All right, so we are live on YouTube Live at the Jack's Wild Sports Show and Instagram at the Alt Sports Talk Podcast. We are very excited, or I'm very excited to at least bring you another episode of the Silver and Bro Show where we get to recap everything, Raider content, Raider everything, Raider topics, and everything that's going on out there in Raider Nation. So again, here we are, another week, another loss for the Las Vegas Raiders, this time suffering a defeat at home at the hands of the Pittsburgh Steelers on Sunday Night Football. Kudos to Pittsburgh for for that matchup. They played it very well. They played amazing. And, I can't say anything bad about it. They just played better than we did, and they wanted it more. The defense just stopped us way too many times. So kudos to Pittsburgh, and I wish them the best the rest of the season. Absolutely. Again, so here we are again, another season, more disgruntled fans, as you can imagine, in regards of, what fans believe should be the way we should go. But let's talk about the game. So again, another lackluster offensive performance for this, basically the third week in a row. When you spend a lot of money in the offseason, as the second most spent money on offense, I expect more than 17, 10, 18 points. It's not good. It's not good. With that type of money, I expect to see at least 20 plus. I mean, and that's just bare minimum with the type of money that they're spending, and I think a lot has to do with it that, yes, it is a very young team. And I think we just all got caught up in the hype of, releasing Waller and releasing Carr and bringing in Jimmy G, drafting Michael Mayer, trying to do everything right. And I think, again, it's just going to bite us in the end. And there's a lot of factors that go to it. So let's just start from it. The offensive line, again, just another bad performance. Jimmy G getting sacked back there. No running lane for Josh Jacobs. The offensive line, just another bad week. And it even ended Jimmy G ending the night on concussion protocol. And there's a possibility that he might not even play this week, but we'll keep more updated as it continues. Just bad all around. Offense, defense, just bad all around. There was a point where had Marcus Peters, there was a point in the first quarter, I believe, had Marcus Peters pick up the interception. That's a pick six. Can't have those. We're not that good of a defense to let opportunities like that slip away from us. We need every stop. And I hope, Marcus Peters gets on the jugs or something. And hopefully he catches balls, footballs in his hands until his palms bleed to death or something, because that's unacceptable. A player of his caliber, that's unacceptable. That's unacceptable. Max Crosby, here we go again. It's Max Crosby and then everybody else. And even Max he's trying his best, but he's only one man. I'll give props where props is due to Malcolm Kuntz and stuff like that. But we need to be better. We need to be better. And obviously the main story is why, again, Josh McDaniels and his coaching techniques and his coaching tactics. Here we go again, another week with, fire Josh McDaniels from Raider Nation and everything. And I get it. I get it. It's disturbing. This is where I think I'm going to be in the minority in this situation when it comes to that decision. People talking about kicking the field goal at the end of the, game. And, why did they do that? Here's my take on it. This is sort of my take on it. I think as Raider Nation grows impatient every week, and as far as them, as far as Raider Nation as fans trying to, we're starving for wins, and I get that. But I don't think there was an outcome where Josh McDaniels could have won, and I think that's why he did what he did. Had he gone for the touchdown instead and they failed, well, why don't you just take the 3 points and just get the field goal? And our defense make one stop, and then we try to get the ball back. It was a lose-lose for Josh McDaniels. He was doing his thing to make it where put the team in the best situation. This is where I disagree, though. When we kicked the field goal the first time and there was a penalty of roughing the kicker, I truly believe that Josh McDaniels should have declined it. He should have declined it because when he accepted it, we get the ball back for another first down and we drive again. We took a whole minute off the clock. That's a whole minute because then what happens next is our defense actually made a stop and we could have gotten the ball back with a little bit more time than trying to rush our offense in that situation. This is where I think it gets a little frustrating. I think Josh McDaniels is a no-win situation because I think Raider Nation has already made it. I think 95%. I'm being generous. Maybe 99% of Raider Nation has already given up on him. And this is where I find it disturbing. This is where I find it disturbing within our own fan base. Yes, of course I want to win. Of course, as a fan, I want my team to win. Of course, I want that. My issue is you guys want to continue to preach. We want somebody that's going to be consistent. We want somebody that we can. This is where I find it funny. You want consistency, but yet you want to fire a head coach after 20 games. After 20 games, you want to fire a head coach, but yet you guys are preaching consistency. So what is it? What is it that you guys want? Do you want consistency or do you want to restart? Because I'm on either train, because I'm gonna go with the Raiders as long as what the Raiders do. I'm not gonna play favoritism. I'm gonna call them out when I call it out. I'm gonna call them out, and of course I'm gonna call them out when I see something's not going right. I call them out. I'll call them out right now. That was putrid. Again, we're wasting all this money on offense, and yet our defense couldn't stop. Our defense couldn't stop. They couldn't stop a parked car yet on Sunday. That's how bad it was. I don't think they can stop a parked car. That's how bad the defense is. But my thing is, when you're spending that much money on offense, I expect to be not a high scoring offense, but at least a consistent offense. That's what I expect. But again, here we go again. This is my take on it, and this is when it comes to every Raider fan that's going to be out there watching this video, either right now, tomorrow, whatever the case may be. This is where I have to kind of step in and say, well, if we're going to do this rebuild, you guys are preaching fire McDaniels, and fire McDaniels. Okay, fine. Fire him. But then you're just being a hypocrite yourself because what is it that you don't want? Consistency? Or do you want coaching? Or what is it? I don't know what you guys want. Me personally, if we're going to do this, then yeah, I would love to do a rebuild. And that's exactly what we're doing. I don't know who put it in people's heads that the Raiders were going to be this all-star team and everything. I get where, the offense, I expected our offense to be a little bit better. But the problem is still the same. Our defense is putrid. They can't stop a parked car. If you told our defense right now to go to Antarctica and catch a cold with barefoot, I don't think they can even do that properly. I don't think there's nothing this defense can do right. I truly believe that. I truly believe these guys couldn't do anything right. And that's including Maxx Crosby. I don't think these guys can do anything right. That's everybody. And, it doesn't help that after the game, some of the comments, from some of the players, where Maxx Crosby is saying, I'm tired of this shit, like losing all the time. Dude, then do something about it. And that's the thing. And EJ, who's a good friend of mine, thank you for tuning in. You know, he's saying the right things. You know, they want to rebuild, but they don't want to rebuild. No, it comes to a point with this team. You either want to establish a new foundation or you want to play with the players you got. There's no in the middle ground. It's one or the other. And, you know, was statements of Crosby saying, you know, I'm tired of this shit. Well, do something about it because your defense sucks. I'm sorry. Who am I to say that your defense sucks? I've never suited up in the NFL. But from the eye test, you're just as responsible. You were the one with the C on your chest. Your unit sucks. You're responsible for that. You know, there's one thing I got taught. If you're going to be in that role where you're going to have a C on your chest, you're the captain. You're supposed to lead. And I get it. You know, maybe they're not as talented as you, but as a leader, you have to make them at least believe they're a little bit better than what they think they are. Or else take off the C. Devontae Adams, same thing. You want to go out there and you want to start saying, you know, I don't have a whole season to wait. Neither do I. As a fan, I don't have a season to wait either. I've given this franchise way too many seasons. I've given this franchise way too many years to figure this out. Go ahead. Last time I checked, you had a C on your chest too. Your wide receiver unit sucks. We're paying Hunter this money. I'm starting to believe the Hunter Renfrow stealing money from us too. We gave him the extension because all of a sudden he became from one of the favorite slot receiver to just another guy. It's not how it works. All of them. This is where I'm starting to trickle down on everything. This is where I'm starting to I truly believe, and this is just my opinion, and this is coming from nobody. This is not coming from sources. This is just my own opinion as a Raider fan. If we're going to do this rebuild, then we have to do it completely, top to bottom. Obviously, if people say Mark should sell the team, Mark should sell the team. He's never going to sell the team. Why would he sell the team? He's finally, for the first time, probably since he took over the Raiders, he's probably seen a profit for the first time in his life being an owner. He's seen profits. He's not going to sell. Why would he sell? Move to Vegas? He's getting money. He owns the Aces. Why would he sell? To everybody out there that's saying sell, that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. There has to be, and obviously Mark is not going to pull the plug. I don't believe he's going to pull the plug on Josh McDaniels because I just don't see him doing that because he's already been criticized for all the head coaches that he's hired and have failed. He's never seen a head coach fulfill his full contract. So for the people out there saying that fire McDaniels, the only way that McDaniels gets fired, the only way this happens to where Mark Davis fires McDaniels is if they keep going backwards. If you think the offense is bad, then if they keep getting worse, then yeah, that's when you have to have a conversation that maybe, just maybe, you might have to fire McDaniels. And that's kind of where I'm at with it. There's no other explanation other than that. There's no other way I could see McDaniels. Now, is there going to probably be scapegoats? I would think so. I would think so. You know, maybe if the defense keeps getting worse, then yeah, maybe it is time for Patrick to find out because but then here we go again. Oh, poor Max Crosby. He's never gone a defensive coordinator for more than 3 years. Well, he's part of the blame too. Be the leader of the defense. If you want to stick with your coordinator, be the leader of the defense. Make everybody else in the unit play better. If not, say something. So you have to have some sort of leadership to be like, hey, you know what? I don't think this kid's working, but this kid's busting his ass. Me personally, at this point, why aren't we starting Malcolm Kuntz over Tyree Wilson? I know Tyree was a first round pick, but he ain't ready. He's not ready. And here, my brother, leaving comments, tank for the USC kid. If that's the case, sure. Tank for the USC kid if you want to. But I think it's too early. Again, it's too early to talk about tanking and mock drafts. Folks, it's only week 4. It's only week 4. I don't see a situation why it is September 26th and Raider Nation is already talking about mock drafts in week 4. And here we go on Instagram Live right now. We have my brother Julian. What's going on, bro?
What's up, man? Raider Nation for my guy, man.
Here we go again, man. It is September 26th, and Raider Nation is already talking about mock drafts. You believe that?
I was the one that posted it.
Órale, man.
Sad. It's a sad day, man. It's a sad day because here we are and everybody is back to square one, When you thought that we were going to be able to put it together and start making steps forward, we take another step backwards. And I think that that's why everybody's so upset, everybody's so hurt. Well, yeah, who wouldn't be, After, how long have we been fans for, Can you hear me?
Yeah. No, I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you.
We've been fans for, going on, 20 years.
Long time. We've been fans. And, we suffered. And we've
in the early years, we had some good times, where you could go out and watch them and they were, they made it to a Super Bowl and things like that. But as of late, you kind of just look at it and it's like, okay, you know what? A couple seasons, they didn't get it put together. Okay, tear this team apart. Oh, they've done that like 4 or 5 times already. And they still can't get it right. So
and that, again, I think it's just to the point now where I'm really on the side of, again, and this is me. This isn't the opinion of anybody else. This isn't the opinion of what I'm hearing. This is just how I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it as a fan, like, okay, dude, like we've had conversations about how name me another franchise that can waste 6 first rounders in 3 years.
Yeah, no, I can't.
Let me another franchise that can do that. And name me a franchise that year after year has a player that has Hall of Fame caliber talent fall into their lap, and they want to play the smartest guy in the room every time. And bro, if I've told you once, I think I've told you like a million times. If I told you once, I think I've told you time. In professional sports, whether it's the NBA, NHL, MLB, MLS, Liga Mexicana, whatever it is, I think I've already told you. When it comes to team sports and professional team sports, playing at that level is hard. Don't make it harder to build a future.
Right. I agree with that 100%.
When you have, again, here we go again, 2019, number 4, we had our choices at either Ed Oliver, Devin White, Josh Allen, the defensive end Josh Allen, not the quarterback Josh Allen, the defensive end. We went with Cleve Farrell. That right there should already be a fireable offense right there. Like, I don't care what it is. Mark Davis should have just fired Mike Mayock right freaking there.
Right.
The following year, we know we needed a wide receiver. Everybody knew. There was no secret. We needed a wide receiver. Right. Jerry Jeudy, Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb. Bro, I want you to tell America, I want you to tell everybody on Instagram Live right now, because God is my witness. What was the exact words I muttered out of my freaking mouth before the commissioner went to the podium?
Boards and stuff like that. So we presented draft boards, and we all knew we both had CeeDee Lamb as our pick. There was other wide receivers that were available that year, so there was I guess you could say a plethora, right?
There was. Let me go through them real quick. Let me go through them real quick. Let me go through them real quick. CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Ayuk,
Right.
Denzel Mims, Jalen Reagor, Justin Jefferson, Jerry Jeudy. You know, hey, take your pick, right?
Take your pick. Right?
What is the exact words I uttered after the ticker said the pick is in? Tell America what was my words.
You turned around with your back to the TV. You looked up in the sky and prayed. With praying hands, you said, please, anybody besides, I can't remember his name, Henry Ruggs. You said, anybody besides Henry Ruggs. And that's when the commissioner walked up to the podium and said with the 11th pick, the Raiders took Henry Ruggs. No lie. That happened. That really happened. Okay, are you there?
The following year, after the draft was over the first round, and I saw Mike Mayock get on that podium, and he said, we were afraid. We had offers at 17, but we were afraid. We were afraid that somebody was going to trade with us and they were going to take our pick. What did I tell you then? What did I tell you? In the nicest terms, because we do have to be PG here.
Right. You said nobody was gonna take Alex Leatherwood. Nobody was dumb enough to take him. We were the only stupid enough to take him.
Where's he now? Where's Alex Leatherwood now?
What's that?
And where's Alex Leatherwood now?
I don't know, dude, flipping burgers somewhere, I guess. I don't know.
There you go, folks. There you go. I am totally convinced. I am totally now this year.
Yeah. I mean, don't sugarcoat it, man. The kid looks terrible.
This year, I looked at you in your face, and when we did our mock draft boards, when we did our mock draft boards, we both had corner because we knew, okay, corner is an issue. Yes, defensive line is an issue, but we need a corner. And we both select, well, I went Christian Gonzalez, you went Joey Porter Jr. Understandably at that time, because we truly believed that Joey Porter Jr. was a lock for a first rounder. Who didn't, right? Everybody believed that. Everybody believed that. When I heard now, at that time of the draft, when Jalen Carter was falling up to us, I always say, if a player of that caliber falls into your lap, you have to take it. You got to take him. You have to take him. Tyree Wilson, supposedly the second best pass rusher in the draft.
Can I say something? And I don't want it to sound like, oh, all of a sudden now you're coming out to talk. I don't want it to be that way. But let's just be honest. I mean, we do. Look, okay, here's the deal. I do my homework on the draft. I don't know if anybody else out there listening does their homework or they just sit there and watch it. Okay, I'm sorry, but I do my homework because every year I have a draft review, JR, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I have to do my homework. I have to look at these kids and analyze what I see on film. And I'm sorry, I just didn't like what I saw on film. Okay, cool. We drafted him. And is it fair for me to come out and say that now? Probably not, but it's the truth. It's the truth. I did not like what I saw on the film. He never touched my board, ever, in any other mock draft. And was it the correct pick? I don't know. But right now, it doesn't look like it's the correct one. And I know what people are saying. Oh, all of a sudden, now he's not doing good, so now you're going to call him out. No, but it's the truth. It's the truth. And I don't know how many people really do their due diligence on draft picks.
I really never once had Tyree Wilson either. Never once. And my thing was this.
I saw the film, and there was nothing on the film that jumped out at me that made me think, oh, yeah, this could be the guy to turn our franchise around. Never. And again, I know maybe people are out there like, oh, now you want to pull off too, you know? And there was never anything that I ever saw that made me think, yes, this is the guy.
And that's sort of the thing, because now the issue is here we go again, right? Here we go again as fans. We have, and I think because of 20 years of losing, and let's call it what it is, it's been losing. Raider Nation has grown impatient, because now what it is, it's you either be successful your first year, or we want you gone, because we don't want to do this whole thing. I think this is how sad it is. We rather fight, and that because that's grown 20 years of impatience. That's grown 20 years of losing. That's grown 20 years of this. And I agree. Now, with Reggie McKenzie, I'll throw him a freaking bone, because let's be real. He came in a weird time. Mr. Davis just passed away. This is a new thing. We never had a general manager and a head coach on separate occasion. Like, Al Davis was the general manager. Mr. Davis was the general manager. At the time when Reggie McKenzie came in, we never had that. The only thing I didn't like off the get-go, I didn't find it fair that he fired Hugh Jackson immediately. I didn't find that fair. You know, I was very critical of that. I didn't find that fair, because I understand where he was coming from. We lost Jason Campbell, and we had to make a move at quarterback, and Carson Palmer was available. Was he worth the first rounder that we gave up? Probably not. Probably not. But I understand where the move was coming from, and I didn't find it fair that we fired him and we bring in a guy, Dennis Allen, who, let's be real, he wasn't ready. He wasn't ready to be a head coach. He was not ready to be a head coach. Then, Dennis Allen does his thing. We hired Jack Del Rio. Man, there was a time where I really believed the way the trajectory was going for Jack Del Rio. You know what? I think they're building something. I think they're really building something here. Then John Gruden became available. Mark Davis said, hey, you missed the playoffs. I'm going to have to go in a different direction. I hired John Gruden, and there was a part of me that, trajectory-wise, I know the draft picks looked weird, but the thing was we kept improving our wins every single year, and that's what we were looking for. And I know it was kind of a slippery slope when that year, and me personally, what Rich Bisaccia did should have let him kept the job. Name me another man that could come into a situation where your former boss got hit with these emails, his emails got linked, and he had to resign. They made you the interim head coach, which you've never done before. Gus Bradley did, but you never done it. Your receiver killed somebody.
Oh, shit.
Killed somebody. We had to let him go.
Killed the guy.
Like, you killed a woman and the dog, but then you still managed to take this team, and they were lucky. Yes, it was a lucky season. I'll give you guys that. We were lucky as hell to be in the playoffs, but we made it. Luck or not, we made it.
Yep.
And the thing is, with this Josh McDaniels regime, I do not feel the same way. I don't feel, if anything, I feel we're going down. We're going worse. We're taking steps backwards.
I believe so, dude. But you know what? In retrospect, I mean, if you really sit back and kind of think about it, it's kind of like it's only his second season, dude. We're 3 games into second season, and I understand the frustration. No, hold on. I understand the frustration because it's coming from everywhere. You hear it everywhere. Oh, man, let's start looking for our next guy. I mean, it sucks because you cannot continue to do this anymore. We cannot continue to fire every head coach that loses a couple games. And he's just starting to put it together. I mean, if you really sit back and you look at this team, they're just no good. Look, if you get an average fan of the NFL and say, look at the Raiders team and just look at their faces and tell me who you can name. They're probably just going to name Crosby. That's the only name.
Devontae. They'll probably name Devontae.
Maybe Devontae and maybe Garoppolo. And that's it. You know what I mean? And I know that the team should be at least good enough to compete, but they're not. They're not that good. They just got a bunch of rookies and has-been players, and they're just not good enough, man. They're just not good enough to compete, and it sucks to say. And just like you said earlier, bro, like you said, I've never put on the cleats and went out there and played. So, but I can tell you what I see on the TV screen, and it's not good. They look like crap. They look like players that are getting paid, and they're okay with just being mediocre. And the fans are no longer willing to accept that. They don't want to rebuild. They want to win now. And that's a crappy situation.
And to Angelo here, and we got a comment here. And we got a comment here. I feel you guys need to invest into a quarterback. Defensively is decent. They need help on the offensive, mainly the offensive line and their quarterback. No, what it is they need a whole freaking team.
They do.
It's not just, and Angelo, thank you for the comment, but it's just not.
Angelo for shouting us out right here and giving us a comment. Yeah, we do. We need a better quarterback. I mean, we thought Jimmy G could come in and, help us out. But, you saw him. Anybody that saw that game on Sunday night, he looked shook. And we just, you need somebody
here. And this is the thing that kills me. And I understand where the frustration comes in because, this regime brought in their guys, right? Okay, they brought in their personnel. You can call it, right? And you look worse. And I'm pretty sure. But here's the thing, and this is where it's going to get interesting. And this is where I think it's going to be interesting. If we continue to get worse, I think this is where a situation where Mark Davis really has to look in the mirror and be like, we can't continue to do this. We need, and it's going to hurt him because it's like, shit, here I go again. I had to fire this guy. I got to start a new regime, and we're going to have to do another rebuild. But if people are going to be excited about that, but here's my thing. This is where I'm okay with a rebuild. This is where I'm okay with it. When you have players after the game saying, I don't have a season for this team to figure it out. And we do. As fans, I don't have another season to go through this again. I don't. I've already given you 20. When I have leaders talking about this shit sucks or, this is bullshit. Yeah, but you're held accountable to a higher standard because if you don't want that responsibility, take the C off your chest then and just be another player. You want to complain that this and that and this and that. Do something about it then. You're being holed. That's all I hear. Max Crosby being holed all the time. If it was really an issue, Max would have said something by now. Punch him in the throat. Push a ref. Do something to get their attention. And this is the thing, and this is where I'm at with it. And this is where it all ties down to for this Sunday. Change it then. Make us fans believe that you really are trying to change it because we've already heard for 20 years that this shit sucks. We know it sucks. We've suffered through this. You haven't. Listen, as much as Max is playing his heart out, as much as Devontae loves being here, they haven't gone through what me and you have gone through as fans. They haven't gone through that. They just got here, bro. To me, you're no better than freaking Matt Shaughnessy. You're no better than Trevor Sott. You're no better than freaking Trevor Brown or whatever his name was, Austin Brown or Austin Bryant. You're no better than Tommy Kelly. You're no better than Johnny Lee Higgins. You're no better than freaking Chas Shillings. Because you're losing. You're supposed to be these all-star team. You're supposed to be these all-star players. But yet, when it comes to crunch time, you guys are failing horrendously.
And the sad part is they still get paid no matter what, dude.
And that's the thing. It's like
lose or tie, their paycheck is still the same, dude. So they could care less. I mean, yeah, some of them might say, okay, yeah, oh man, to look good in front of the camera. Oh, I don't have a season for this, and I can't wait for that. But at the end of the day, their check is coming in, dude. Tell me they would not play a little bit better if there was incentive in every game. If they lost, they didn't get a paycheck.
Oh, they would bust their ass.
Play the same?
They would bust their ass. They would punch a player if they have to.
Yep, they would have to figure it out, but that's not the reality that we live in, dude. And I mean, again, I'm not trying to trash anybody or say anything that's negative, but the reality is this, dude. They're not that good. They don't have the correct team yet, and we're gonna suffer yet again.
And
because
this
team is bad.
This
and they are not gonna turn it around. I don't care what anybody says. If they do, then
they good shit, I guess. Good shit.
Like I doubt it. They're gonna have a really bad season because the morale is already down, and it's only game 3. It's gonna be bad.
But this is reality. Reality is this: the Steeler game is over, and I'm gonna take words from what Jack Lambert said years ago. As a fan, give me a couple beers. Let me rest up for 30 minutes. Restart the game. I think we can take on Pittsburgh. But like Kenny Stabler said all those years ago, shoulda, coulda, woulda. Game's over, man. It's over. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. Reality is this. We have to head to Los Angeles for another game, for another division rival game, this time against the Chargers. The reality is this. Jimmy G's in concussion protocol. And from what it's sounding, he might not play. And shout out, and this is where I'm going to give a shout out to Raider Nation Radio here in Vegas. I am in agreement with what this situation is. I already know what Brian Hoyer can't and cannot do. I already know. I am all in favor. If it came down to Jimmy G not playing this weekend, I am all in favor of starting Aiden O'Connell this week. Yes, is it shitty that we had to throw him to the Lions' Den where we have suffered 2 major losses and we had to put you in a tough game, in a division rival game? And hey, man, if you win this game, you might save our season. If we lose, our season might already be over before it even begins. Good luck, kid. Is that a shitty situation? 100%. But I agree. That's what he was drafted for. Like you said this morning when I talked to you, this is what he was drafted for. Waiting in the wings. Should anything happen to Jimmy G, Brian Hoyer?
It's his time. It's his time, dude. And as much anxiety as I feel for him, you know what I mean? That,
I can only imagine what he's thinking. Like, oh, crap.
And it's like, hey, man, it's your time. And the bright lights of SoFi, dude, you're going to be in LA, but you know what, man? It's good to see what the kids got, Look, when we talked about it in the morning, I said, put him out there and see what he's got. If he's just laying an egg and it's just like, hey, man, I'm sorry, you're not fit for it yet because he's too young, then put Brian Hoyer in. But what if it comes the other way around? What if he shows some of that light that he had in preseason? Then maybe you're on the right track. Maybe you found somebody that you could start to, maybe rally around,
I mean, because here's the thing. Brian Hoyer has been in the league for 15, 16 seasons now. I already know what he can and cannot do. And I was not even impressed with him in preseason against the 3rd and 4th stringers. You want him to put up against the Chargers? I'm good. I'm okay.
Yeah.
Me personally, I am in agreement with what Raider Nation Radio was saying this morning. I would be okay if Aiden O'Connell starts. That's what you drafted him for. That's what you drafted him for. To see what he's got. We knew there was a possibility that Jimmy G could get hurt. Well, here it is. Here it